So Prince died on the Queen's birthday.
I know.
Which also happens to be your birthday, by the way.
I was really annoyed because it kind of overshadowed my birthday. I mean, come on.
I didn't remember it was your birthday until like 10 o'clock. Even though I knew the day before, I was just like, I must remember to text Matt tomorrow.
I think someone we know got the wrong day.
No, she didn't, because she WhatsApped me on the day of your birthday, but I was asleep, so I didn't see it until 6 o'clock this morning.
Not you, the other one.
No, I know. But she WhatsApped me last night, so on your birthday, at like 10:30, but I was already asleep.
Yeah.
So I messaged back at 6 this morning saying you're a dumbass. That's what happens when you don't have Facebook, I guess.
Yeah.
But I had it in my diary anyway, because I think there was a period where I wasn't on Facebook, so I had to write down people's birthdays.
That's it. Yeah, it's the one positive thing about Facebook.
Yeah, you remember birthdays of people you don't give a shit about.
Oh, thanks.
I didn't need Facebook to remember your birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Chris, I don't know wherever he's in Azerbaijan or Serbia or Montenegro, I don't know. But he sent me a telegram asking me to give you an audio hug for your birthday, so I'm going to have to go and do that now.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. That's me walking, by the way. I didn't hug you yet.
Oh, okay.
I was doing sound effects and everything. There, I've hugged you, Matt.
Oh, I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah, I'm a very light hugger.
Yeah. You'd make a great rapist, I think. No one would feel
Would I really?
Yeah. People wouldn't know they've
really?
been raped, so you'd have no problem, I think.
Okay. Jesus Christ, how many people have died this year so far?
I don't know, someone's saying, is it more than usual, though?
I think it's because it's in quite a short space of time. I mean, who knows? We might not get any more deaths for the rest of the year. We probably will, but usually they're spread out a bit more. But it's only April. Well, it's May, actually. We're talking about events that happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I think
it's May.
I think it's a lot of the legendary people that are just going these days.
Yeah.
And they're bound to go at some point. I mean, the amount of drugs half of them did. Well, I don't think Prince did, apparently.
I don't know. Well, because I sort of conked out when I got home, so I didn't even read up about it. All I knew is that Prince died. I don't know how.
The thing is, for me, I've never really listened to Prince before, so...
Me either. And people seem to be really upset, so I really wanted to Facebook, not but the Prince died on the Queen's birthday, because I thought, oh my God, that's a bit odd. But I thought, people seem to be a bit upset about this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. It's too soon.
People do get a bit sentimental, don't they, when people die?
Yeah, but then again, remember when Rickman died, how sentimental we got?
Yeah, to be fair. Also, Victoria Wood died as well this week, we should mention. On Thursday, was it?
I think, it was Thursday.
She was a great comedy writer.
No, was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I think it was Wednesday.
Wednesday, because Prince died, yes, yeah. So...
Prince died in April, Matt. In April. It is May now.
May, yeah. Yeah, and my birthday was actually last month.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
It wasn't yesterday.
No.
So I don't even know where people get that illusion that it was.
No, I think it's that head injury, Matt, that we received around Christmas time-ish.
It really does knock us out sometimes.
Yeah, I know, and then we forget weeks, sometimes months at a time. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. I nearly got attacked by a bumblebee today. I did, honestly.
You nearly got attacked by one.
Yeah, I heard one in the kitchen. Well, actually, I thought it was next door doing the vacuum cleaning, because it can be quite loud sometimes. And I thought there was this vibrating noise. And I thought I was getting rather close, and then I looked around and there was a bumblebee flying towards me. And it was huge.
I've had bumblebees flying towards me.
It's huge. It was huge. It was massive. I was impressed by its size.
See, one night, it was summer, so my window was wide open and I was lying in bed, right? And I heard some sort of buzzing, and it wasn't a mosquito, because we don't really get mosquitoes in this country, do we? But it is one that sucks your blood, because it had like a nozzle and stuff. Anyway, that thing had been attacking me a couple of nights in a row because I'd found bumps where it had been sucking on me.
Yeah.
Right, so it had hidden somewhere in my room, was coming out at night when it thought I was asleep. It was in my fucking hair, that's why it was so loud. Somehow it managed to find its way onto my head, and then I just freaked out. I was like, what the fuck, is it in my fucking ear or something? So I think that's more terrifying than your bumblebee story. Me lying in bed disoriented. getting attacked for the third night in a row.
I don't know. I've had a spider come on my bed and run right up towards me. That was pretty fun.
Well, spiders don't do much. This one was sucking my blood. It was like a hot vampire.
You enjoy that kind of thing, though.
How would... What?
You're just that kind of person.
Why are you just throwing that out there? I would not enjoy someone sucking my blood.
You said I know a lot about rape drugs. This is hardly, as bad as that. You're the one throwing around serious accusations.
I didn't say you knew a lot about it. I said I thought you would know about GBH because everyone knows about it.
I really do not know much about it.
As a girl, you were raised not to drink a drink if you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I've never used it and it's never been used on me, so...
I can't admit either of those.
Can't you?
Yeah, I can actually. No, I've never used it all.
Sure?
Yeah, I was going to make a joke, but then I realised, this actually happens to people and it's horrible.
Bad taste, yeah.
So I won't do that.
Yeah.
May possibly have happened to the person that we're talking about this week.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in fuller time.
Pardon?
We'll find out in fuller time.
Fuller time.
That doesn't really make sense.
I thought you said for the. By the way, listeners, sometimes you might sound a bit weird because we're both sick.
Yeah, in the head.
So yeah, this is going to be a great episode, isn't it? We have to stay awake through the whole thing.
I know.
I've been asleep for like 2 hours.
Me too, actually.
And then I woke up and saw the time. I was like, shit, we should probably do this.
I was actually quite glad we left it a bit late.
It wasn't intentional. I was hoping to do it earlier, but then all I know is that I fell asleep.
Well, that should mean we sound like refreshed and...
No, I do not sound refreshed when I wake up.
No.
I sound like I'm so irritable and you shouldn't talk to me, and it takes me about 8 hours to actually fully wake up and be an okay human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time that's happened, my day's almost over.
I'm not sure if I've ever heard you sound intelligent.
Thanks. I sound more intelligent than you.
Oh.
Knobhead.
How dare you? We're going to mention knob a bit later on.
Are we?
Just a little bit.
Hobnobs?
No,
or just
it's
knobs?
relevant to San Francisco.
Okay, then. So, on that note, I think it is time for Tamim to implant the intro music in this section here.
Implants.
Don't you, Matthew?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction podcast, where we talk about stuff.
Yeah. So, welcome back from the intro music.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so seamless here, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm really getting this hang of this podcasting thing after doing it for almost a year. I think I figured out what we should do our anniversary podcast on. The one that will go up on the 25th of May.
Mm-hmm.
I know I should probably stop saying that because chances are, us being as flaky as we are, we're not going to put anything up. But either my birthday or we do it on Cillian Murphy's eyes.
Ooh,
because it's his birthday as well.
Cillian Murphy's eyes. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of get lost in his eyes, so...
Yeah, I know. They're just like drops of ocean.
Yeah, drown in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And I'm fine with drowning then.
Let's do that. We're masochists, so...
Yeah, I think we should just be silent and just think about his eyes for about 20 minutes.
That will sound great.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the listeners will probably be grateful.
Yeah, no, the listeners will probably be thinking about his eyes as well.
Yeah. It'd be like meditation or something like that.
Yeah, you could meditate to those eyes.
Yeah.
Well, Peaky Blinders is back soon, so I'm going to be staring at those eyes soon enough.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
I think Peaky Blinders is actually back around the time of our anniversary, so it could be like a tie-in.
Yeah, we have to do it.
Oh, God, Cillian Murphy. Anyway, that's an episode for another day.
Yeah, let's not get too excited at this point.
So we were talking about Fuller.
Yeah.
This week, we are going to be talking about the murder of Eleanor, known as Nora Fuller. So at the time of her death, or her murder, I should say, she was 15 years of age. But something really sucks about this case is because it doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Why is it always me that picks cases that don't have Wikipedia pages?
There's no videos on YouTube either, so...
Well, no, it was 1902.
Yeah, there's still videos about crimes
That's true. There's not a lot on it. So I don't know when her date of birth is, so I'm assuming she was born around 1987, 1988.
1987?
1887, 1888.
Yeah, okay. That's probably...
No, it'll be 1886 or 1887, right?
Yeah, one of those 2 years.
Could be turning 16.
Yeah. Yeah, she was very young.
Yeah, so in 1902. She wasn't that young.
She was middle-aged then.
Yeah.
Properly.
No, I think they lived longer than 30 in 1902, Matt.
Oh, well, close then.
I think, yeah, the average age is a bit higher than that in San Francisco.
I don't know. There's, America, the 10th century. It's not quite the America it was now.
The America is now is a bit,
well, unless you're getting shot, you live to quite a good old age.
I just meant health. They're not as well, there's probably lots of healthy people in America. It's just the unhealthy ones drag the healthy ones down when it comes to percentages.
Yeah. It is
Literally.
California as well, so a bit of a mix there, as I'm sure we'll come
we
to.
don't know. We didn't live in San Francisco in 1902.
No.
We don't live in San Francisco now. It seems like a lovely place now.
Yeah, lovely. Awesome.
Yeah. So, being 15 years of age, she was clearly old enough to go out and start working.
Yeah.
So, on January 10th, she spotted an article or a posting, advert, that's the more appropriate term, an advert in the San Francisco Chronicle for the position of a nanny. And she responded to the advert. I don't know how they responded to the advert in 1902, but it was fairly fast because in the next day, January the 11th, she received a postcard from a John Bennett asking her to meet at a restaurant named the Popular Restaurant at 5 p.m. But then I also read another post saying it was possibly 1 p.m. as well. So I don't know if she was given a choice or who knows. I guess that could be lunch or dinner, right?
Yeah.
And it depends on when she gets the postcard.
Yeah, well, the postcard was never found, so you can't.
No, it wasn't, which I found a bit weird. So how do we know?
Yeah.
She must have just told her mother this.
Yeah.
Or showed it to her. And taken it. She must have taken it along with her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that we'll talk about the discovery later.
Yeah.
So around 5:15, she did leave for the restaurant. And at about 6 o'clock, because it was about an hour after she left, she phoned home to her mother, saying that she'd gotten the position, it was a nice family, a nice home, and that they wanted her to start immediately. And her mother's not a complete moron, so she said, no, hold on a second, just come home and you can start on Monday. Rather than leave your home and go live somewhere else immediately with a man that you've only known for an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think she actually said that to her, because of another thing that I'm going to jump on in about 30 seconds. Nora agreed, and she said she'd be home, but she was never found.
Yeah.
Well, alive.
Yeah.
She was never heard from again. She was found dead, but spoiler.
Yeah.
So her mum, for some reason...
Yeah, this was strange.
Do you find it weird as well?
Yeah, I was like, you'd be a bit concerned, wouldn't you?
Nora had managed to go to this restaurant and the person's house all within the space of an hour. So you'd expect maybe an hour or less, because she didn't have to go to the restaurant to get home. Possibly pad it out maybe by an hour if she's making small talk with the Bennetts.
Yeah.
So she should have been home fairly soon after that phone call, but she wasn't. And her mum waited a week to actually inform the police.
Yeah, I don't... Unless she had, a particular, past of just going off.
Which I don't think has been noted here.
Also, particularly the fact that she said, come home, you'd think she'd be a bit more persistent about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. See, with my parents... Well, it's different now that I'm not 15.
Yeah.
But when I was 15 and I said I was going to be home, my parents would be calling me from the hour before I said I was going to be home.
Yeah.
For every half an hour. No, not even half an hour. Every 15 minutes to check my status. It may scream of overprotective parenting. I mean, they don't do that anymore, thank God. But that is what parents do. So if I told my parents I was going to be home at 7 and I didn't show up by 8 or 9, they probably would have called the police, even though you're supposed to wait. How long are you supposed to wait?
I've heard it's 48 hours.
Yeah, for an underage... Actually, I think...
For someone underage.
I think it's less for someone that's a child. So if she was 15... Legally, she still would have been a child in 1902, right? Because I think the age of consent is either 16 or... Consent? The age of adults are either 16 or 18 in America.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% sure about that time, but
I think it's still the same.
Assuming it is.
I think it'll be roughly the same.
Yeah, it can't be that far.
Because it's not a million years ago. It's just about 114.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So her mother didn't report her missing for a week, which we never figure out why, seeing that her mum really wanted her to come home that night, and she didn't.
Yeah.
So when the police...
Oh. You go first.
No, you go.
The only thing I can think of is maybe perhaps you just don't want to get them involved sometimes.
Yeah,
Some
but a
people are a bit weird about that.
Yeah, but a week.
Yeah, true. That's still...
A lot can happen in a few hours. Why wait a week?
Yeah.
Like, if a child goes missing now, they want you to contact the police as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
If you're expecting a child and they don't show up. I mean, if it's an adult, they want you to wait a couple of days because the adults have a means of survival and they could have easily have just gone off and not told you.
I think with a child, I mean, realistically, you should get in contact with them as soon as possible. Even if they do, like, turn up, like, a minute after you phone.
And then you call the police if they turn up, say, oh, it was a false alarm. If it was my kid, I know it's 1902, but if it was my kid, if they didn't show up, I'd probably give them at least a couple of hours to come home, because I know what teenagers are like.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, I'm on my way, and they're still, like, an hour away from leaving. So I'd maybe give them a few hours, and then if they didn't show up, then call the police. But yeah, so I just find that really weird. So anyway, on with the case. When the police were contacted, eventually, they discovered... I didn't actually say, did I? When Nora called, she said that she was at 1,500 or 1,500, whatever you like to call it, Geary Street. She said that was the residence of the Bennett family. So when the police got involved, they quickly discovered that 1,500 Geary Street was a vacant property. So there was no way to contact anyone from there. There was no phone.
Yeah.
So there's no way Nora could have made the phone call from there.
And also, clearly, the person didn't have his house there, Bennett or whatever he was called.
Yeah. I don't know when the last owners or, like, tenants of the house moved out. I've read a few news articles. It wasn't in either of them.
Yeah.
Or any of them. In addition to finding out that 1,500 Geary Street wasn't the residence of the Bennett family, the owner of the popular restaurant said that the man a man had come in. He was regular there, and they nicknamed him, I love this, Tenderloin. Tenderloins.
Which, this is just a brief point, which, ironically, actually, there's a neighbourhood in San Francisco called Tenderloin, and it is the seediest part of San Francisco, apparently.
Ah, okay.
Which just...
I thought it was just because he liked the loins tender.
Well, no, he probably did, but it's interesting that there's an actual neighbourhood called Tenderloin. They just like Tenderloin over there for some reason.
Yeah, I just found it funny because when I think of loins, I don't think of food. I think of other things.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, talking about a 15-year-old girl here.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, so he was a regular there, so they recognised him. They gave the police a description. They said that he was at the restaurant up until about 5:30, and then he went outside.
Yeah.
So people assume he went outside to meet Nora.
And he told them he was waiting for a girl, hadn't he?
Yeah, he had already told them beforehand he was waiting for a girl.
Yeah.
And then he never returned to that restaurant again.
Which is a bit weird.
Yeah. So things went a bit quiet on the case until about a month after the disappearance, when real estate agents were looking around a house in Sutter Street because the lease had recently expired, and found the naked body of Nora Fuller, which was
quite badly decomposed by then.
Yeah, it's been quoted as being called frightfully mutilated, as well as having been raped and strangled.
So not the nicest scene.
No. So the lease was in the name of C.D. Hawkins, and should we just say what the police actually found in the property first?
Yeah.
There wasn't much, to be honest.
No, there wasn't.
No.
What I read, they found some furniture, wasn't there, or something? But enough for just, like, one room.
It was two
rooms, wasn't it?
I don't think the furniture was still there.
Wasn't it?
At that point.
Ah.
No, I think when the police searched the property, there was literally nothing there. Apart from her clothes, her purse, a cigar butt, and half a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
I think that was there when it was found, but they did dig into the house. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe the furniture was still there. Well, it was rented furniture.
Yeah. What I heard is that he'd arranged it in a small room in the back of the house, but the rest of it was empty, so...
Okay. What I read was that he'd rented it from a place. He'd rented enough to fill 2 rooms.
Yeah.
That's what I read. And this is the weird part. The day that he rented the furniture, he went to rent it, he demanded it be delivered that day. So he needed it sharpish. And C.B. Hawkins, he actually leased the house on January the 8th of that same year. So it was 3 days before Nora disappeared.
Yeah, exactly a month. Like before she was found as well. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I find it just eerie because that's a lot of money to invest in a murder. So he must have I hated thinking about it, but he must have taken his time.
Yeah, well, that's
why he needed a place to do it.
Someone, I think, commented on that. I think I was reading a Reddit thing.
Oh, okay.
And someone was saying he clearly planning this or something, or it was clearly quite elaborate.
Yeah, it must have been, because he leased the place for a month. He leased furniture. He didn't buy anything.
Yeah.
There didn't seem to be any paper trail.
That whole furniture thing, to me, it sounds a bit like it could come from like a Sherlock Holmes story almost, in a way. The kind of thing that happens in that, something weird kind of happens. There's some like weird demands or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether they should have been suspicious about that or not, really. I
think some people, they must get weird demands in loads of different places.
Yeah.
Like, people wanting everything yesterday. I get that a lot sometimes as well, because, well, I have to deal with sort of customers. People are going to wonder what I'm doing, because I don't actually elaborate, because I don't want to. So I have to deal with people, and sometimes they do want everything done yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's the same as, like, when you go out shopping. Like, some people want a bed. They don't want to wait 3 weeks for delivery. No, I want it tomorrow. Some people are just difficult like that. So I think they would have interacted with enough people just to think, oh, he's another one of them.
At the end of the day, if you get money for it, I guess you kind of just do it, don't you?
It's his business. So from this discovery, the police, because they're brilliant, deduced, speaking of Sherlock and the Dorks Deduction, I forgot. We're called the Dorks Deduction.
You forgot.
The police deduced that Tenderloin, Bennett and Hawkins were the same man. Like, how did they figure that out?
That's still a bit of a jump, I think.
Really?
Well, there's coincidences there, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's 100% certain, because there's no way of knowing. But I think it's pretty certain that they'd be the same person. Because obviously the man that rented this house planned everything in advance. And the man that put the ad in the paper planned everything in advance, down to the restaurant and picking her up. And he didn't actually stay in the restaurant when she was arriving. He left so people wouldn't see them together.
I don't know. How long would you be going
unless there were two people working as one. But also they did have witness statements of C.B. Hawkins and Bennett. And they were quite similar in features. They looked the same. They corroborated one another, their witness statements.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so the body was found. The police linked it to these 3 aliases because they didn't actually know his true identity. It was 1902. It's so easy to lie about who you are. Her friend, Madge Graham, she came forward and claimed that Nora had actually had a secret boyfriend who was significantly older than her, and she got the name Bennett from her.
Yeah.
And Madge assumed, I don't know whether Nora had said, I'm doing this, or Madge just assumed this, that the ad was put in the San Francisco Chronicle as a cover for the mother, so she wouldn't suspect anything. As Madge had been used as a cover story for Nora before. It wouldn't be past Nora to do something like that. Yeah. Which I think is a bit far-fetched, because her mum didn't even report her missing for a week. Like, how's her mum going to fucking notice?
Yeah. I also read Nora wanted to be an actress, I think I read somewhere.
Yeah.
And that he might have...
I don't think it's connected, though.
He might have... At least there's some suggestion that he might have presented himself as someone who could...
Make it happen. Yeah, no, I read that as well. Also, there are other people that back up Madge's story. Yeah. Like a grocer. He said that Nora did come into his shop quite frequently to use a phone and to call a hotel. Yeah. Which I guess would make sense if it was the same person, because the person didn't lease the house until the 8th of January. He might not have had a fixed abode at that time. Yeah. He could have been living out of a hotel. There are some hotels in America that are like apartment buildings. You pay by the week or the month. Yeah. And there were other friends that saw her with a man with the same description as Bennett as well. Yeah. Even though there are a lot of people backing up this story, police never really ran with it.
Bit strange, isn't it, I think?
I don't know why, but they didn't. they put more stock in another story.
Well, there was another man, a bookkeeper named Charles B. Hadley, and he had a bit of a history of like stealing money and stuff like that, and he'd disappeared because he'd stolen money, I think, from a company he worked for. So
Was it his firm? Like he owned it, or did he work there?
I think he worked.
I never got that information.
I'm guessing. Yeah, a bookkeeper would.
They're like accountants.
Yeah, so he was probably stealing money from the company. And he got found out, obviously, but he disappeared. His girlfriend, she believed that this was him because the signature C.B. Hawkins was very similar to his own signature, I think. And the only problem with this story, I should say her name first, which is Ollie Blazier.
I thought it was Blazier, okay, but maybe I wrote it down wrong. It's fine.
Yeah. They'd been like boyfriend and girlfriend, but they hadn't parted on very good terms. Don't know whether to take it seriously or not.
No. It could easily be a girlfriend who's trying to get back at her boyfriend.
I mean, it's kind of...
It does happen.
What convinced the police maybe a bit more was the fact that she'd seen him reading articles about Fuller's disappearance, and it kind of greatly disturbed him, she said. Yeah,
but, like, it's a 15-year-old girl that was raped and murdered. That would greatly disturb anyone.
Perhaps she meant unnecessarily so. Like, everyone would be kind of disturbed, but perhaps particularly kind of disturbed. He also happened to be very partial to Tenderloin, but if you've been reading about the case, you could get all those facts together and say, he liked Tenderloin, he's the murderer. So
what I don't get about this is, did they ever, like, she was with him at the time of the murder, as in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Did she say that he went missing for days or weeks at a time during this month-long period?
I didn't read that, so...
Exactly, neither did I. I figured if she said that he... Because we've got details about her saying that he liked Tenderloin. But I feel like if she had said, he wasn't around during this period at all, that would be more convincing than him liking Tenderloin.
Yeah.
But I never read any... I've read quite a few articles. I never read any information about where he was at the time of the disappearance or just after.
Yeah. I think the only other thing I heard about him was that he was wanted for embezzlement in Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Minneapolis, it says there.
Oh, Minneapolis.
That's it.
I'm supposed to be the one shit at places.
Oh, shut up. It's America and their weird places. I can say normal places fine. But this guy was under the name of Charles Stark, though.
So he ran away from Minneapolis because he got done for fraud.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was wanted for embezzlement. He ran away from San Francisco, probably because he was wanted for embezzlement.
Yeah.
He's got form. Like, yes, it's a crime, but it's not on the level of rape, torture and murder.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? Even...
Like, if they had linked him to a crime that was committed, a vicious attack that was committed in Minneapolis, then I'd get it. But it's a white-collar crime that he committed.
Yeah.
It's not a violent one. I mean, they never released any information about his violent streak.
Yeah. Also, I feel like C.B. Hawkins and Charles B. Hadley, it's very similar. Wouldn't you kind of try and not make it similar? Because all three
some
initials
people
are
might, some people might not.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm not too convinced by this one.
Yeah, but apparently the police were.
Yeah, well, it didn't really help them too much.
No, so, like, they didn't follow up Madge Graham's lead. They followed up this lead. I actually saw a newspaper clipping where the police had officially said that the murderer was C.B. Hadley. And I saw that in, what's it called? The Newport Miner?
Yeah.
Which was the April-May edition. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to say that to press because there was, like, no evidence whatsoever. There was this disgruntled girlfriend who'd been ditched, basically. Who'd embezzled money, then left.
Yeah, well, there's a thing about reporting here that I was reading about, and this guy mentions the fact that, like, and there was, because San Francisco famously had the earthquake, and this kind of meant a lot of the actual records about this case were destroyed in, like, the fires and stuff that happened. And so all that left are kind of contemporary newspaper reports. So they're not the kind of, they're quite contradictory and untrustworthy, he says. So
This clipping was from 1902.
Yeah, but I mean...
The one that I read it in.
I mean, these ones were from 1902 as well. What I meant was... But they're not kind of... You have to take the newspaper reports with, like, a pinch of salt, really, is what I'm trying to say.
I always do. Yeah. I always do. Because there was a lot of newspaper reports about this case, because, come on, it's a 15-year-old girl that got raped and murdered. I mean, during the inquest, the courtroom was packed out with spectators. Yeah. Everyone was following this case. Yeah, it wasn't too, like, conclusive what actually happened to her as such, was it? No, which I found weird, because, like, there was so much light shone on it. I figured that the police of San Francisco, they would have just arrested anyone and just made the murder fit with them just to close the case. Because they've done that before. Like, whenever, like, a serial killer gets caught, you have police from all over the country going to question them about this victim, just hoping that they'll admit to it even if they didn't do it, just so they can close the case. I'm surprised that didn't happen with Nora. They didn't just get someone, a pansy, to stick the murder on. Yeah, it's kind of like, also, because I was reading up, because I was talking about the neighbourhood Tenderloin earlier, and they're saying it's quite seedy and it's quite corrupt as well. So, and it kind of backs onto this area. It's kind of, all of it is quite close together, because, like, Geary Street's nearly part of Tenderloin or something. And so you're kind of wondering, why wouldn't... If there's police corruption, I guess, wouldn't you just try and find anyone? Yeah. There'd be plenty of people who could probably pin it on. I haven't got much more than that, to be honest. No, me either. That's like... Because there was, like, nothing on it. Yeah. Which is why I sort of hate myself. I always pick cases. I don't know where I come up with these people. I don't know how I find them. Yeah. Right. But I pick them and there's, like, nothing on it. And I was like, oh, shit, I just fucked myself over. But there's stuff for us to talk about. Yeah. The one kind of theory I had is that it was kind of a serial killer, and possibly a serial killer who liked to move around. That is a possibility, but I believe that it's more like what Madge Graham said. Because I do feel like Nora would have had some sort of relationship with the person. Because she called telling her mother that she was at the place, and she clearly wasn't. Yeah. That's the one thing that makes me believe, okay, maybe it's not a random murderer, it's not a serial killer, maybe she didn't get tricked into meeting a person. Because she must have known she wasn't at that place, yet she still called her mother and told her she was coming back. Yeah, I sort of believe what Madge came forward and said. I feel like maybe she was seeing an older man, or she knew someone. She was with that person. Yeah. The person clearly planned on killing her, but obviously she was probably oblivious to that. Yeah. Why would she go if she knows she's going to get murdered? So she thought she'd come up with a clever cover story and then called her mother, but her mother wasn't going for it. And she said she had to come home. And then Nora agreed because she thought she was going to be back Monday. Yeah. But maybe the guy didn't want her to leave. See, my problem with, like, the whole Tenderloin story is, obviously we can't find out how often he'd be going to this restaurant, and... No, it could have been just because he'd only rented the place for 3 days, but then he might have been around earlier. But it said, like, frequent, but what's that, for how long? Because if he'd been going for, like, years, how long had he been kind of planning this or watching, or how long had he known kind of Nora? I don't think he would have been going for years, because don't you think at that point the owner would know more about him? Because with regulars, you strike up conversations, right? Yeah. So he'd know more about him than, we nicknamed him Tenderloin. Yeah. I'm not saying that this John Bennett, Tenderloin, possibly Hawkins, Hadley, would have confessed all to this man, but he would have got to know him slightly. He would have made polite conversation, because if he didn't, and he was a frequent regular that had been coming there for years, that would be suspicious. Do you think it's it'd be more like mine and Luigi's kind of relationship? Yeah. Luigi didn't know your name, but you talked to him all the time. Yeah, well, I asked him for my order. No, we didn't ask him. That was the beauty of it. Yeah, he just brought it to us. Yeah. He offered you a place to stay. You could have taken him up on that. I know. You might have finished uni.
I missed out on all those meals. I could have had that for
you
breakfast
did.
literally every morning.
You had it for breakfast, lunch and dinner, mate.
No, I did not. I had it for breakfast sometimes every day, not every day.
Should we tell the story about your 2 breakfasts?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, so me and a friend, Lana, we decided to not go to a lecture once and decided to go eat instead, which happened quite frequently, to be honest. So we were walking to the cafe, we saw Matt leaving, and we met and we made polite chit-chat and we said, well, we better be going now, we're going to eat. Matt turned around, came back with us, ordered more food.
Yeah, I should have been going to a history lecture at that point. And
no one made you do anything. You just followed us.
You convinced me.
I didn't say anything.
Telepathically or somehow, you convinced me. I don't know how you did it.
I have telepathy powers.
Yeah, but whatever you did, it worked. And I went and ordered more food. Although I was pretty stuffed by the end of it, so...
Remember that time we spent like 5 hours there?
Yeah. Oh.
But that was because it was raining, not because we were hungry. Like, every hour we'd go back and buy like a can of Coke just so they wouldn't kick us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Matt.
Yeah.
Because I've said what I think happened. What do you think happened?
Well, as I say, I think it's possibly a serial killer that roams around America, maybe.
I think she must have known the killer.
Maybe that's what part of his stick, or whatever you call it, gets to know the person.
Yeah, it builds up some sort of trust.
Yeah.
But that's quite risky for a serial killer if he's doing that. And, like, this Bennett, whatever his name was, he was seen with her.
Yeah.
Frequently, and her friend knew his name, or the name that he'd given her, and had a description of her. People were giving descriptions of him. If you're a serial killer, you don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're a serial killer, your attacks should be random, so people don't link them to you.
Perhaps he didn't, intend to ever do what he did, but he just ended up doing it somehow.
Are you saying he's like one of those serial killers that thinks they're changing their ways, like
no,
the BTK killer?
He might have never intended to kill her or anything. He might have just...
I don't find that believable either, because he rented the house for exactly a month, from 3 days before the disappearance.
That is strange. I mean...
And rented furniture.
Yeah.
And not, enough to fill the house so it would be comfortable to live in. Just part of the house.
Well, because they think the fact that she was incomposed, that she died on the day that she got there. I think that's what I read.
So maybe, is my theory, maybe he just didn't want her to leave.
Yeah, possibly. She did, because, Mother said she didn't sound scared or anything, so...
Yeah, so again, I feel like she was comfortable in his presence. She must have known him.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite, forcing her to stay as such. She would have been, fine with staying, in a way.
No, but she agreed with her mother that she was going to leave and come back on Monday. So she must have thought that was okay.
Yeah.
She was going to come back anyway. It's not like she was leaving and never coming back.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't want her to leave for that weekend or however long it was.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that.
Yeah, one that we'll never figure out. I'm pretty certain that she must have known the guy.
The one thing I'm not sure... I don't really know much about the psychology of rape, whether it's something that you plan or whether it's just a bit kind of on the moment.
I think it varies from person to person.
Because he strangled her, so that makes me think it might have possibly been planned.
Why do you think it was planned? Because of the strangling?
I don't know, I just feel the whole strangling thing, I don't know, I just think that might be planned. I think if you just rape someone, I think that can be kind of spur of the moment. That can just be, I don't know, your feelings getting over you or something. I don't really know much about the psychology of rape, so... I
think it's difficult to pinpoint. Some people it's sexual gratification, some people it's having power over someone.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to point out, we don't know if the rape was post-mortem or not, so we don't know if she was dead already.
I think I read that she probably was raped before she died.
So maybe the strangulation could have been heat of the moment, and then when she died...
Yeah. Also, the mutilation, how was that done? Is that part of the rape, or was it...
No, the body was mutilated, so maybe she was tortured beforehand or afterwards.
Yeah.
He must have beat her somehow.
Because on Reddit, they do have an interesting theory about the mutilation, although there's a bit of debate about this. There's an idea on here that she might have gone for an abortion or something. And of course, it being illegal, it's a botched abortion, they think, possibly.
Does that really answer the rape and strangulation there?
Yeah, someone on here says rape seems to be a weird way to kind of cover your tracks if you'd killed someone in abortion.
Yeah, because isn't that sort of worse?
Whether it explains the mutilation or not.
Don't think so, because, like, I'm assuming by mutilation, I always thought it was, like, external mutilation, whereas if it was like a botched abortion, it would be more internal.
It does sound a bit ripperish, kind of, almost.
Yeah, because the way it was described, frightfully mutilated, I assume that it's external features that people can see.
Yeah.
So, a botched abortion, I'm not saying that it can't turn external, but I'm thinking it's more internal, that they'd be mutilated with a fucking coat hanger.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by the abortion.
No, I don't think so, because that wouldn't answer the rape or strangulation.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be no point of it. You just dump the body.
Yeah, and there's not much else I can think of other than that.
I'm just pretty certain that she must have known him. Maybe she wasn't seeing him, but she must have been known to him and must have been comfortable with him, because she lied about being there.
Yeah.
She went along with a lie. It's not like she was tricked into she was tricked into going to the place, but she knew where she was going.
Yeah.
She knew where she was. She knew she wasn't at 1500 Geary Street.
Yeah.
So that would be, like, my only explanation because of that. If that hadn't have happened, if she didn't make that phone call, I think maybe it was a serial killer, maybe it was a random murderer.
Mm.
But because of that, I feel like she had to have known him.
Yeah.
And there were so many people corroborating Madge's story as well.
So you think this guy is just like a one-time murderer then?
I'm not saying that he didn't go elsewhere and do it to other girls. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he thought he loved Nora and it was in the heat of the moment and then he got carried away.
Yeah.
But I feel like he must have built some sort of relationship with her first.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a random killing. She cared for this man.
Yeah.
She trusted this man.
I mean, it's not unusual for it like to be a kind of whole long-term thing, and then you strike. Because I've heard about that before. There's people who they go with the whole marriage thing, and then about a year later they murder them. So he was clearly prepared to buy this time if this was his intention all along. So, but I haven't got much else apart from that.
No, because it's the curse of me picking an episode that's not going to be that much information out there on it. Maybe I should stop picking the most obscure things.
I don't think it helps. There's literally no official records on this either, as well.
There's not. It's not like the Clayton Miller one where I was just reading that 40-something page long thing. There isn't. Other than like the newspaper clippings, and I had to read quite a few to piece together everything as well. Because there was so much information left out of each one. Yeah,
I'm not sure if you're reading the same thing as I am. It's Strange Company.
That was one of them. I read a couple... that's the Reddit one, isn't it?
No, the Reddit is... that's a different one. That's other
I read the Reddit one, that one, and then I read a clipping from San Francisco Chronicle, another blog, and then another newspaper clipping from the Newport something, whatever it was called. Chronicle or whatever.
What interests me about this Strange Company one is they've got, don't think it's a photo or like, it kind of looks like a painting of her or something. She doesn't look 15 on there. She kind of looks...
Yeah, but we don't know how good the painting is and we don't know how hard her life was.
Yeah.
Like, I got told the other day that I did not look my age. They thought I was in my 30s and I was like, fucking thank you, man, thanks. So how old am I going to look when I'm in my 30s and 40s?
Yeah.
40s and 50s, great.
Yeah.
I'm not even close to being in my 30s, by the way. I'm only 23. Someone once said I look 35 and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? No, because I go through some people. Sometimes I still get ID'd in shops. Sometimes people think I'm 17 or 18, and then you've got the other side of the spectrum that people probably don't have any idea of age.
Yeah,
they think I'm in my 30s.
Yeah,
seriously, how that's a massive span, and I'm baby faced, so I don't look like I'm in my 30s.
Yeah,
it must be how I dress sometimes, I guess, because when I'm at work and stuff, I have to dress in officey clothes.
Also, we don't really know how affluent she was as well. So
I'm assuming not very, because she went out to work at 15. If she was affluent, she would have just been married.
She could have ended up being a prostitute, possibly. Particularly being so...
Well, she had a mother and a brother.
Because Tenderloin, as I say in the neighbourhood, that's always been famous for kind of the crime and prostitution and stuff like that. And it's pretty...
So you're saying maybe this guy kidnapped her to try and force her into prostitution?
No, not necessarily, but I think it's something to think about.
I think, because she had a family, right? And prostitutes, usually they don't really have anyone to depend on.
Yeah.
Where she had both a mother and a brother.
But if they're not very affluent...
I don't hear much about her brother, but she had one.
If they've not got much money...
I don't think it would be prostitution she'd turn to. She was looking for legitimate work.
She wanted to be an actress, so...
Yeah. So maybe she would have become a prostitute. I'm not slating actresses, I'm just saying that sometimes they wannabe actresses get taken advantage of, and they can never make it to the success they want to. And the thing about being an actor or an actress, right, is you always have to be ready to go on an audition last minute. You can't exactly have like a proper job or a proper career as a backup. So, prostitution's an option, waitressing is another. And there's only so many waitressing positions available.
I think I'd prefer to do the prostitution than the wait.
Of course you would. I'm not saying anybody that's an actress or is trying to become an actress is a prostitute. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if that was how some people made their money, because there's no fixed hours.
You're saying they're prostitute.
No, there's no fixed hours. You get to set your own rate, which was great if, you're a high class one. But, yeah, it's an option out there for any wannabe actresses. If you want to make it in Los Angeles and you need a way to support yourself, maybe join the Dorks Deduction brothel.
Yeah, that's to be established on that episode. There's nothing wrong with prostitution.
There's nothing wrong with prostitution as long as you've got a good, nice pimp.
A lovely pimp.
Which will be me. Apparently, I'll be the madame of the brothel.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I am. I just realised. Why? The past couple of episodes, why with the brothel?
The what?
Arbuckle started this.
Yeah, I don't know. You and your brothel. I don't know. It'll become world-renowned, I bet it.
Dorks Deduction brothel. I can picture it now. We would have our prostitutes dress up as, like, characters from Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff like that, because we're dorks. Because we're dorks. The Dorks Deduction.
I don't like either of those two things.
No, not just those. Just anything sort of fanboy-ish.
Yeah, I can get that.
That'll be the theme of the Dorks Deduction brothel. I can picture it in my head now.
We need someone with Cillian Murphy's eyes. Perhaps we could tempt Cillian Murphy to be a prostitute. Do you think he'd fall for it?
I'd fall for him. I'd be his madame. Okay, silence.
Yeah. Shall I talk about
anyway?
Because that's what I've been meaning to talk about for a while.
Oh, right, yes.
San Francisco has a place called Knob Hill, and and also...
Does that have to do anything? Does that have anything to do with Nora?
Not as such, but I just want to bring it up just because it's entertaining, and it's a bit. You need a bit of lightheartedness at the end of this because it is quite dark. And but I was mentioning Tenderloin. Well, there's a bit in between called Tender Knob, and that is literally what people call it. They call it... Sometimes they call it Tender Knob or the Tender Knob. I just think that's brilliant.
Wait, first of all, Tenderloins.
Yeah.
And Tender Knob. Oh, that's great.
It's amazing.
Oh, my God, we should open up a brothel in, like, the cross-section of those places.
Well, you say tenderloins tends to make you think of something else. Tenderloins... Yeah. I think they think why it might have been called that is to do with, like, the prostitution and stuff like that. So the loins of the prostitutes, essentially.
Okay. So we will open up a branch of the Dorks Deduction brothel.
Tenderloin.
in between Tenderloin and Tender Knob.
Because tenderloin, is that steak?
I think so.
I do quite like steak, so I do...
I don't like steak.
Do you?
No, it's too hard.
You're probably getting it from the wrong place. If it's hard.
Oh, I don't like... I don't eat much meat anywhere other than chicken, and even chicken I eat very rarely. So
I don't know, you got to be honest, you got to go to a good place for a good steak.
Yeah, but
a lot of places it's expensive as well. So
it's very heavy. Yeah. I just can't.
Oh, it can be really nice if you get good stuff though. But I would go to this brothel place if it had steak.
Oh, maybe we should have like a restaurant waiting area sort of thing with like a bar and restaurant. So people could have the girlfriend experience. Oh my God, this is it. This is our new business plan. Okay, so we're going to have a bar and restaurant. So but then patrons would have to still pay for the food and drink. Yeah, I'll earn me some more money. So they could have the girlfriend experience with their prostitute and then take them upstairs.
Yeah, to be honest,
this is gold.
I'd be a prostitute if you paid me in steak.
Yeah, I wouldn't hire you, Matt.
Why not?
Sorry.
I would be the main attraction. Come on.
To who? C.B. Hawkins.
Oh, fuck off.
Anyway, there's not much more we can say on this actual case. Yeah. Other than, I think she knew her murderer, but we'll never really know, not for sure.
Yeah. The only other thing is that this has got nothing really to do with the cake, but Sutter Street, these days, it's actually quite nice. It's got, like, skyscrapers and shit.
We're, like, advertising San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, it's also, I think if you ever played...
We've got the brothel, the Tenderloin, Sutter Street.
If you ever played Grand Theft Auto or something like that, I think some of the
I used to just play it to kill people.
Yeah, because I think there's one set in San Francisco, or there's some driving video game, and I'm pretty sure that street's on there, because it's one where it goes up and down a lot.
Okay.
I know that's got nothing to do with Nora, but I just thought
It has nothing to do with anything.
I just thought I'd put that out there.
Grand Theft Auto did not pay us for advertising.
No. Although they should do.
They should do. So, Grand Theft Auto, once you've heard this episode, because we know you will, send us some money through, I don't know, PayPal. You can send us a check.
Yeah.
You can direct debit.
Who else did we get money from?
San Francisco, the state of San Francisco. Is that a state? It's just a city.
We've mentioned Tenderloin a lot, so I think we should get some
Tenderloin,
steak
so
or something.
Angus steakhouses everywhere. Send us money.
Yeah.
And brothels, we advertise brothels a lot.
So give us prostitutes as well.
Yeah, maybe don't send us the money, just in case at this point our bank accounts are being monitored.
We'll
Yeah,
have to kind of create an offshore account or something.
yeah. It seems very complex. I'd rather work cash in hand, to be
Yeah.
honest. Anyway, I think that's the episode done, so... Unless, is there anything else you need to say about this case?
She's dead. What more was there to say? No one found out.
She's dead.
I mean,
She's been dead for 114 years.
to be honest, you chose this one, so it's your fault, really. I blame you.
How's this
I
my
blame
fault?
you. You killed her.
Yeah. I jumped in our time machine and went back in time just to
Yeah.
kill her, so we'd have an episode for
Now
this
you
week.
can be the one to do it. I'm always the one going back in time killing people.
That's because you're always the one too lazy to actually upload this shit or edit it. I have to do all the work. I need some fun, okay? My fun is writing the description when Matt does
I
it.
make great contributions to this recording.
Okay, I have to spend hours editing and uploading it. Okay, that was my reward for doing so, is blaming it on you
Or my family.
or Richie Edwards.
You blamed my parents in quite a few, didn't you?
Oh yeah, because they did the Roswell.
Yeah, exactly.
They did that plane crash that we talked about once. We talked about a plane crash, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Stendek.
Oh yeah, Stendek, that's the one.
Stardust.
I'm losing my memory. Yeah, so it was all Matt. Matt went back in time in the time
It was
machine
you. It
and
was
killed
you.
Nora, so we'd have an episode for this week.
Yeah, well, it's been fascinating anyway.
Yes,
Even though we
so,
haven't worked out what happened to her.
We never will. Well, I'm pretty certain that was someone she knew, but that's it. Could be anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you'd like to email us and tell us how great or shit we are, you can email us at thedorksdeduction@gmail.com. You can tweet us, or you could Facebook us, or you can send us a message on Facebook. Apparently my response time is 15 minutes, which is great, because it's a good response time, because we don't actually get that much, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Also, I'd like to thank people that have been following us on SoundCloud, because we've gotten a few follows over the last few weeks. And I'm sorry I didn't mention it before, but SoundCloud doesn't send notifications to my phone for some reason. I don't know why. Not any of the important stuff. It sends me stuff saying, maybe listen to this track. Doesn't say anything about my fucking account though, does it?
Oh, awful.
It's a bit shit.
Terrible.
So yeah, thank you for following us. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
And share us to your friendlings and other people that you don't like. If we're really shit, send us to people that you don't like so you can torture them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like us at all, send us to your enemies.
Yeah, and trust me, we're excruciating torture.
Yeah, if you don't like us. I feel like we're probably Marmite. You're either going to fucking hate us, or you're actually going to think we're quite amusing.
Yeah. I mean, I think people will love me. I mean, that's just natural, you know.
People are going to think, why does she swear? Like, her voice is very nice. She sounds pretty proper. Why does she swear every other word?
Yeah.
The answer, people, is I really don't know.
Just got
And
filthy mouth.
I could never
That's
work.
all.
Yeah, I could never work on live radio or anything like that, because I don't know when the swear words are coming out of my mouth. They just sort of happen. I only realise when I'm editing it. I'm like, why did I just swear here? To be honest, listeners, I cut out quite a lot of the swearing. Yet there's still a lot in there.
Yeah. I could imagine you on radio just going, fucking this, fucking that.
Yeah, I'd need to be on at like 11 p.m.
Even then, I don't think they'd let that much
on a pirate radio
Yeah.
station. Anyway, I think we need to say goodbye, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so we hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, don't hesitate.
Unless I'm particularly busy, because Matt never seems to respond to the messages.
I don't know what to say.
Neither do I. I just say, oh, much appreciated. Thank you. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Au revoir.
Adios. I know that one. Piss off.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.